Do you think anyone realized we didn't make a video last week?
No. You barely even noticed.
Yeah, I did. I was worried about it all week.
Then why didn't you make anything?
Zachary, we've been over this. I'm not real. Right. Hey guys, welcome back to Alumni Corner, the only show that's never missed a deadline. This week's question comes to us from Hayden Havelka, class of 23. What is a game studio, and do I need one to publish my game? Like, I know what a game studio is a term for a company that makes games, but at what point is it a company and not just a person or people's making the game? Also, if you don't need a studio to publish a game, how do you get away with it without one? Ah, yes! The corporate question. I was hoping I would get asked this one. This is a fun one. Okay, first we gotta start by talking about the word studio. The definition of a game studio actually has the same problem as the definition of developer, which I actually covered back in episode 2. That problem is that it has two different definitions, a popular one and an actual one. The popular definition is probably what most of you guys imagine a game studio to be. They're often seen as a team of people getting paid to create video games, often in an office, but working shoulder by shoulder to live out their dream. In reality, most studios aren't actually like this, especially in the independent sphere. Most independent game studios are small teams of people that work out of their apartments, home offices, and basements. Often they're not paid or are paid very little and almost never have any sort of benefits. The crazy part? Most of them aren't even real companies. To be clear, I'm defining a company as a legal entity that holds its own liability in court. But don't quote me on that, I'm not a lawyer. So when a studio registers with the government, they become a company or a business or a corporation. But before all of that, they were a studio first. And that leads me into the actual definition. A studio is any group of people working on a game. To be honest, the only thing that distinguishes a studio from any other given team is that a studio's given themselves a name. In fact, you don't even need to be a team. For those of you working on solo projects, just give yourself a new name, treat it like an alter ego, and voila! Game studio. My game rectangle. You're going to ask me how I mess up low-tier studios if all you need is a name. No, Professor X. I was going to ask why anyone should incorporate then. Wow, okay, that was way off. Never mind. Honestly, the reasons for incorporating are pretty narrow, and shocking probably no one, they are all about money. The only times you should be positively, absolutely, 100% certainly incorporating is when your game has just made a bunch of money, your team just got a bunch of money, or if you're shilling out to investors for money. Really, that's all legalizing your company is for, splitting and protecting that money. Oh, and for taxes, but money. The most common piece of advice that Jacob and I found in our research was to not form a company until you've shipped at least one full game. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be completed and shipped. So let me take that and put a little twist on it. Make your game first. That's where I went wrong with low-tier studios. When we tried to start low-tier studios, I went about it in every conceivable backwards way. I tried to start with branding, business expansion plans, marketing, before we ever even had a prototype for any game. This distracted us from making something truly great, but way worse than that, it caused so much friction that our team just sort of... So how's that for a self-fulfilling prophecy? I spent so much time trying to make low-tier studios look professional that we just ended up living up to our name. So go forth, make a studio, and be awesome. Remember, all it takes is a game and a name. But if you're having trouble coming up with a name, I think I got something that can help you out. So just check out the description down below. It's real simple. Just take your birth month and your birthday, and optionally your birth year, And voila, you got a studio name. At least something you can work with. Huh. I'd be Ugly Beholder Inc. Yeah, I'd say that checks out.